All right, number 6. Number 6 comes directly from section 4-3, where all we were really asked to do was just to do some quadratic regression analysis on the table of values here. And we can write that in standard form. We don't need to write it in vertex form. And this is pretty straightforward. All we really need to do is go to the stat button on our calculators. So go ahead and press the stat button here. And then we're going to go and edit a list. If you have old data in there, just delete that out of there, as you can see that I'm doing there. And now it's time to put our new data in there. So if we look here at our info, what we have here, let's be careful, x and then f of x written horizontally like this. That's your L1 column, and then this right here is your L2 column. So make sure that you pair these ones up appropriately. There's a pair, there's a pair, there's a pair. Okay? So my L1 column would be -2, 0, and then 4. So let's go ahead and put those in. So -2, enter 0, enter 4, enter, and then let's arrow over to the right, find those other numbers. 2, 4, and -64. Great. 2, 4, -64. Let me double check. I wasn't sure. I forgot. Yep. Always good to double check. All right. Don't move on. See how it's not there on the list? Press enter. Now you can move on. So now your next move, press that stat button again. Go over to calculate, and then we want to select quadratic regression. Select quadratic regression. Press enter twice. I have to press enter a couple times because I'm on an 84. And there we have some good information there. Let me take a picture of that. And let's put that on our notes here. Okay, so when we did that regression, now what they're telling us is now we can write the equation for that parabola. They're giving us the a, the b, and the c. So right now I could write down that y needs to be equal to -3x squared minus 5x plus 4. Done. Let's move on. Ooh, factoring, my favorite. Okay, so as I was saying during class, all the way leading up into this test, you need to be experts at 3 different types of factoring that show up a lot. One of the factoring techniques that you need to be experts at is factoring with greatest common factors. You might not notice this at first. You might be looking at this one and trying to do that move that we were doing in class of trying to multiply those two numbers together. But what you should notice on these problems first is notice that 4 is actually a common factor with all 3 of those numbers. And in fact, notice the leading term is a -4. So we're going to go ahead and factor out a -4 here first. And that might make the factoring go a lot smoother. And so if I do that, dividing each one of these 3 terms by -4 will give me an expression of x squared, followed by, carefully, -8 divided by a -4 would give us a +2, followed by the x. And then 60 divided by a -4, I think that would give us a -15, pretty sure. And so then our next move. Don't think that you're off the hook after factoring that. We got more work to do. So the next move here would be taking that -4 and then looking at what we have left here and asking ourselves, can we factor? Remember those big 3 factoring techniques that all Algebra 2 students need to know. You need to know how to factor trinomials when that leading term is 1. In this case, it is a 1. So I'm looking for 2 numbers whose product is -15 and their sum is 2. I think I can do that if I have x times x to make x squared, and I think I can do that if I have a +5 and a -3. Common question I get from students is, ooh, did I do it right? Here's an easy way to check if you did it right. Okay, remember, you guys had that acronym that you used to learn back in the day when it came to multiplying 2 binomials together. Remember, the first and the first. Now, these 2 guys right here, you've already done it, so forget about it. The L, you've already done it with +5 times -3 to give you that -15. Really, the only thing that you need to check to make sure to see if you've factored this properly is that outer and inner, as I like to say in class, the OI in FOIL. So the outer, -3x. The inner is 5x. Those are like terms, 5x minus 3x. Oh, look. positive 2x. So we did factor this correctly. And in fact, when you look at all of this combined, let me get rid of these highlights here. Click, click, click. Boom. Okay, what you're looking at right there is your final answer. That's what we're looking for there, ladies and gentlemen. Completely factored. Here's the other kind of factoring job you need to know how to do. A difference of two perfect squares. Do you notice 25 is a perfect square of 5. 4x squared is a perfect square of 2x. So we should be able to factor this one pretty easily. And we could write this as 2x times 2x to get 2x squared. Because this is a negative 25, one of those 5's has to be positive and the other 5 needs to be negative. How do I know I've done this right? Once again, first and first is good. Last and last is good. It's the part in FOIL. I have negative 10x and positive 10x, which gives me 0x. That's why I don't see any x's there. So, boom, we have now factored that one completely and factored it correctly. Awesome.